Before we get into the latest news and rumors surrounding LSU's coaching search and Lane Kiffin, I want to ask you guys right off the top of the show, where do you think Kiffin is in 2026? Does he stay with Ole Miss? Does he go to Florida? Does he go to LSU? You let me know down below in that comment section by giving me an O, an F, or an L. And with that, we'll get started with the rest of today's video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into college football now. My name is Joey Peterson. I am your LSU coaching correspondent. And on today's show, we're going to give you all the latest on America's Most Wanted. I don't care if you're the LSU Tigers. I don't care if you're the Cleveland Browns. I don't care if you're the Wongdong Tigers. If you have a need at head coach, I guarantee you, Lane Kiffin is circling around your head coach hotboards. Well, of course, we know that's been the case for the very long time for the LSU Tigers, and we're going to break down everything we know as of right now, as of today, on this program. Pete Thamel spoke at College Game Day this past weekend and really gave us the latest update we've gotten and the latest update we need when it comes to Lane Kiffin, his status with Ole Miss, and his possible future at LSU and or Florida. Thamel went on to say the people closest to Lane Kiffin say they genuinely have no idea what he's going to do. The main competition for Ole Miss retaining Kiffin appears to be LSU right now. Florida has cast a wide search. They talked to multiple candidates face-to-face. LSU is focused in solely on Kiffin. Florida certainly still in the mix, but right now it appears that LSU and Ole Miss is the decision that Kiffin is facing. So we learned a couple of things with that. Number one, Florida isn't out, but it feels like they're third place right now behind Ole Miss or LSU in whichever order you would put those two. Now, I'm not saying that they're done. I'm not saying there's a 0% chance that Lane Kiffin ends up in Gainesville, but right now it feels like they're not putting all of their eggs in the Lane Kiffin basket, that they are fine having a couple of backup plans, and shoot, if they want to match an offer or two, they'll be willing to do that, but they're not going to die on the hill of getting Lane to come to the Swamp. However, it seems like that is the strategy for LSU, because it seems like LSU is putting all of their purple and gold eggs in Lane Kiffin's basket, and if he's not going to come to Baton Rouge, then they're all going to be looking around at each other and saying, oh shoot, okay, what's next? Like, it kind of truly feels like a high-risk, high-reward situation for the LSU Tigers, and you may feel like they're allowed to be in that place. With the current state of this program, with the uncertainty with their athletic director, the governor, the losing that they've done this season, where they need to go going forward has to be a big swing. But what happens if you miss? Right? Then you're all looking around. It's early December. You really have not interviewed or talked to many other people, and you're starting back at square one when you've had this vacancy for over a month and a half at that time. CBS Sports with a little bit more on what the offers are looking like. The deal is believed to be for 7 years and worth as much as $98 million. The source said it includes a significant promise that will make LSU competitive in revenue sharing and NIL, the source said. A formal offer has not yet been made. Kiffin is expected to make a decision on his future after next Friday's Egg Bowl against rival Mississippi State. Ole Miss athletic directors Keith Carter said on Friday. So that would put Lane Kiffin at the very top of the list for highest paid coaches in college football. He would be above Kirby Smart, who has won 2 national championships. He'd be above Ryan Day, who won a national championship last year. Curt Cignetti just got paid. Lincoln Riley's been getting paid, as has Dabo Swinney, for the national championships that he has won in Clemson. Now, I'm going to hit you with a hot take. And if you disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comment section. But I don't know if Lane Kiffin is worth this. Like, call me crazy. Do we believe this is the right move? This is the right decision? This is the right offer for a head coach who has never even been to the playoff, never competed for a national championship, that LSU should just go out there and hand him almost $15 million a season? More than Kirby Smart's getting, more than every other coach is getting in the National Football League. And look, I get it. Ole Miss is trending in the right direction. Like, if you look at the last 6 seasons under Lane Kiffin, they've really done nothing but go up. But still, man, $14 million is a lot of money. And in my opinion, wouldn't you rather just go out, get a head coach, hire a really good staff around him, pay him less than that, and just use that leftover money for maybe, more talent acquisition in the transfer portal or in recruiting? Now, I am sure, like Pete Thamel said, like CBS Sports said, we will get our answer by Saturday. They play the Egg Bowl on Friday. I'm pretty confident that Saturday, in that big slate of games, I'm talking about Ohio State against Michigan. I'm talking about rivalry weekend, the Iron Bowl. I'm almost certain Lane Kiffin is going to want to make that day all about himself, as he always does. We'll get a decision then. It's just going to be whether he goes or he stays. Speaking of the money, is he worth it? Would you pay Lane Kiffin $14 million a year? Let me know down below by giving me a yes or a no in the comments section. I don't know if I would, okay? I'm kind of standing on the fence. I want to hear what you think. Something I know, and I'm not standing on the fence about, because I know you'll love it, is our awesome sponsor of today's show. It's our great friends over at PrizePicks. This episode is brought to you by them, and it is the holiday season. The best time of the year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It is all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every single day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right, and that is PrizePicks. My wife couldn't even name 4 pro football teams. And then we started playing on PrizePicks. And now every Saturday night, we're breaking down who she's picking for her lineup. It's the most exciting way to watch football. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. On PrizePicks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. Here's my Monday Night Football lineup. I got the more on Christian McCaffrey, 47.5 receiving yards, and Tedero McMillan. He's been on a tear. Give me the more than half a receiving touchdown. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Link to this promo is in the comments and description of today's video. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. For the rest of today's show, we're going to turn our attention to some candidates that could be on the horizon if Lane Kiffin decides to stay at Ole Miss. I think number one is Clark Lee, okay? What Clark Lee has done at Vanderbilt over his past few years there, having them in legitimate college football playoff contention, is something unbelievable. And I get it. Clark Lee is a Vanderbilt alum. Clark Lee probably tells you, hey, I want to be and I'm going to be at Vanderbilt for the rest of my life. But I think we all know that the ceiling at LSU and the ceiling at Vanderbilt are vastly different. Number one, the recruiting is far better in the state of Louisiana, and you are always going to be the top dog at LSU regards to Nashville. No matter how much winning Vanderbilt does, Tennessee is going to be able to out-recruit Vandy year in and year out, okay? And also, just think about how much easier it is to get transfer portal players and high school recruits to academically be able to get into LSU compared to Vanderbilt. Number two, Eli Drinkwitz, okay? Eli Drinkwitz seems like the redheaded stepchild. Everybody wants Lane Kiffin, and it feels like Eli Drinkwitz is everybody's second choice right now. If Kiffin stays, I still think Eli Drinkwitz is in contention. He's done a lot of really impressive things at Mizzou, and although they haven't necessarily had the best season, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries. And you could argue with what he's been able to do at Missouri, man, he'd be able to do that tenfold at LSU. Calvin Shepard is another guy you got to talk about, the current defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. He's an LSU alum. Sure, he's got experience in the National Football League. I think he's a guy that would be really, really interested in getting a head coaching job for his alma mater in college football. I think Jeff Brom is a name you've got to discuss, the head coach over there at Louisville. And I think Brent Key, also our fifth candidate, fits the same mold as Jeff Brom does. Two guys that have done very impressive things at not the most impressive programs. And sure, Brent Key lost a pretty big game this last weekend to Pitt. They're in a position where all they have to do is win, control their destiny. They weren't able to do it. But both of these guys, I feel like, have the same mantra. They coach with the same amount of swagger. All of their players want to absolutely run through brick walls for them. And they both say they're happy where they are until they get offered $11 million to come be the next head coach at Louisiana State University. If the Tigers don't hire Kiffin, who do you want? Let me know down below in that comment section. Give me a name, maybe even give me two. Okay, let's get spicy. Just let me know your thoughts in that comment section. That's going to do it for today's show. Appreciate all of you guys who have tuned in with us. This coaching search is wrapping up rather quickly, okay? Lane Kiffin will get a decision on Saturday. I'm sure LSU will have a head coach at some time in the next 3 weeks or so. We're going to have you covered right here in College Football Now. So subscribe and never miss a moment.